with police matters now. SAPS Management in Limpopo has bid farewell to police stalwart Colonel Moatshe Ngoepe, who's been a police officer for the past 37 years, serving 27 of these years in the environment of corporate communication as well as liaison at various levels of command. Colonel Ngoepe joins us now to speak about his legacy and other policing matters. Colonel Ngoepe, a pleasure to have you on the program this evening. More than 3 decades in the police service. Why did you even choose a career in policing?
You know, to be a police officer must be a calling. It was a calling from me, especially that I started to have this interest while I was still at the high school. And I followed it. You remember that time we were applying different jobs, and you found that in a number of instances where we were quickly being called upon. I got a call-up of 3 types. That was a nursing and traffic officer and that of a police service. But I chose to be a police officer, and that is the job I liked from my childhood.
Now, as you probably noticed a short while ago, we were in deep Diepsloot, where recent protests, such as the one in the area, have brought policing under the spotlight. What do you view as the most important day-to-day responsibilities of the police, and what role in the community do you feel you serve?
Yeah, definitely. So without necessarily going into the situation in Diepsloot, because I'm now a retired spokesperson, I just want to explain that policing is a complex matter. And secondly, we are at the community policing era, where the police and the community should work together. And I want to assure our viewers that definitely sure as a department we have done a lot. Since the inception of the new dispensation, we ran through at the province and established the Community Policing Forum, which have broken into pieces that big bridge, which was between the police and the community. And definitely so we've got a very big support from members of our communities, and we do, as a department, while I was still there, enjoy the quality and reliable information we are receiving from members of the community. That is an indication that the police and the community are together in the fight against crime.
Well, tell me about the times you've responded to negative press on the conduct of police. How did you respond, considering the fact that oftentimes police often find themselves on the wrong side of the headline?
You know, SAPS have got very good and positive policies in dealing with its own workforce. We run workshops, we work various interventions, and members of the SAPSF went through a number of sessions, especially where we are to deal with corruption and other tendencies. That is where now, for example, when I started to be a police officer, I started at the operational wing. That is where I've seen that when for example, you are a detective, you are now on the edge of being tempted easily. But you know, we always workshopped and advised our members to say, no, don't get tempted into any form of corruption, because we are getting paid at the end of the month. The only thing you must do, get down, investigate, protect this community, and that is what all along police management has been singing until today, they're still doing that.
And in extension to that, in your previous role, how did you even ensure a good relationship between the police and the citizens in your precinct? Give us some examples of the steps you took.
For example, a number of serious and complicated cases, which we regard them as cold cases. We happen to crack down within a short space of time. That is an indication that the members of our communities are still having confidence in the police service. Definitely sure, I can count a lot of cases, starting from the time when I was still a detective and now when I was as a police spokesperson. There were a number of instances where community members played a major role in dealing with incidents of crime, except those few incidents which I can call them sporadic in a number of areas where you find that community members took the law into their own hands. But immediately that occurred, the police management were and are still quick to intervene, and in a long run, members of the community should always be reminded that these police services are there to protect them. They must protect them. On the same note, they must support them in building the infrastructure in the name of a police station. Because definitely, so we used to get worried when you see or you find that members of the community or some members of the community have attacked a building of in the form of a police station, because that is their building. That is a community building. And the police members who are there, you remember previously we were staying in barracks, but now the police officers now have been integrated with members of the community, are staying in the backyard or some in the accommodations owned by community members. We expect community members to continue to support and protect the individual police officers as well as the infrastructure.
And as we wrap up, you've continued to urge young officers to equip themselves with knowledge. Tell us a bit more about that.
It's very important to do that, because you remember that I spent almost 27 years being responsible to protect the image of the SAPS. By so doing, I will make sure that before anything is being released to the media, that thing is verified. And we always go out to the public with information which does not have loopholes. You know, it's very dangerous to find yourself running to release an incident, whereas you are not sure of some fact, because tomorrow you will be facing litigations unnecessarily so. As a spokesperson, I was also rendering the role of a public relations officer. That's where now members of the community, whenever there's concerns and problems, they run to us, media liaison officers. And definitely so, I will not sleep without making sure that those complaints are attended accordingly and by interacting with the relevant station commander or station manager. Well,
Colonel Ngoepe, I'll tell you that it's been an absolute pleasure to have you serving, and do take some time to rest. That